Hey guys, did you know that I have a Patreon where you can support me and plus get awesome rewards? Or if you're thinking to yourself, but Julian, I want even more bang for my buck while still supporting you, you can pop over to my Redbubble and check out my awesome store with new designs appearing regularly. But for now, enjoy the video you're about to watch.
Hey everybody, it's me, Julian Greystoke. I'm wearing my Scar shirt. Not really for any reason, I'm just wearing it. And I have a tag for you here today. It's another writing tag. I found another one. Links in the doobly-doo. Hopefully if I can find the creator of this tag. As usual, I wasn't tagged. I just grab these and do with them as I please. This is the story idea writing tag. So this is obviously a tag all about where you get your story ideas, how you implement them, stuff like that. Let's get started. Let's get it started, yeah. Let's get it started in here. The first question is current story. What is the current story idea you're on right now? Well, that's one of the reasons I wanted to do this video. I'm getting done editing 2 books right now, and you guys probably by the time that this video goes up, Boots, my Puss in Boots retelling, will be in the query trenches, and I don't know how far along in the beta process the game will be, but it will be in the beta process, and so I am getting close to being able to give myself permission to write again. You have no idea how excited I am about this, and my newest idea is a fantasy story. I can't tell you too much, because spoilers, but I'm sure I'll be talking about it as time goes on as I write it. It is the tale of a girl who is the last mage killer, which is the working title of the story in my head. She is living in a land where magic has become corrupted and turned evil, and magic users are trying to kill all of the non-magic users, and she and a group of fighters who fly around on wyverns for reasons that will make sense in the story have to try to save the day, figure out why the magic has become corrupted, and try not to get killed by evil, deadly mages in the process. So keep an eye out in the future for more news about the last mage killer, but I am super excited to write this book. Question 2, spark. Do your ideas begin with characters, plot, world building, or something else? They sort of begin with characters and plot. World building comes last. I usually have a little spark of an idea for a plot, and that's when the characters start to just shove their way in and come in waving their arms, and so I build sort of from characters first, and then plot, because I'm a very character-focused writer. Question 3, brainstorm. How do you puzzle piece your ideas together? As I write, because I'm a pantser. So when I write, I always know the beginning, several key points in the middle, and the ending, and I just piece it all together as I go, because I don't plot really at all. Number 4, keep or toss. How do you know whether to keep or abandon a story idea? This is a great question. Whenever I have a story idea that's more than just a little fizzly inkling, I write the idea down in a Word file, and I have a whole bunch of them just sitting in a file called Story Ideas, very imaginative, and I go back to them every now and then to see if any of them spark my fancy. But the way that I know that this one is going to be true is going to be the next one, is that I know the beginning, know the end, and enough points in the middle have come to me that I feel comfortable writing it. And there is no science, it's just an instinct. I just sort of know when I have thought about it and ruminated enough and puzzled over it enough to start writing it. But I don't toss story ideas, I just put them aside in case something sparks later. Question 5, hide or share. Do you keep your ideas to yourself or share them? I'm usually pretty into sharing things, as is obvious by the fact that I shared my next idea for you at the beginning here. I do try to keep some things to myself for spoiler reasons, but I'm not one of those people who's super worried that everybody out there is going to steal my ideas. Because other writers, A, have their own ideas already, and B, even if they were to take my idea, it would turn into something so drastically different from what I would write that I'm not even worried about it. Question 6, original idea. How much of your original idea usually remains when the story is finished? Quite a bit. I know some writers, their story will look very different from what they were planning at the beginning, but mine usually stick pretty strongly to what I had in mind when I started. Obviously there will be unexpected things because I'm a pantser, but things like strong themes and the characters pretty much stay very true to the original plan. Number 7, dream. Have any of your book ideas come from a dream? One of them, and that was my very first, what I consider to be my first book, which is The White Rose, which I will rewrite someday. I wrote it when I was 13 and it came from a dream. If you are interested, I have a video all about that one idea, basically talking about that idea, that writing idea that will never ever leave you alone. Everybody has one. Links in the doobly-doo to that video if future me would be so kind. Question 8. Doppelganger. Have you had an idea but then seen it already exists somewhere else? I mean, I think that happens to everyone, whether it's because you didn't know you were being inspired by something and you were, or you like are sharing your idea with a friend and they're like, oh, it's exactly like this. But as I've said in previous videos, I don't worry about it too much because there's nothing truly new under the sun. It's all what you do with it. Your writerly voice and style and the twist that you give it that make an idea that maybe already exists a lot enough flair to keep going and stand out from the crowd. Number 9, big screen. Do your favorite movies and shows spark ideas for scenes? Oh yeah, all the time. I even have some playlists on my YouTube that have scenes in them for me to like study to try and like amp up some of my scenes. I have a playlist for injuries and death, which is great because I love a good death scene and I like to watch them and be like, how does this death scene make me have the feels? I will use this later. And number 10, nostalgia. What is the first story idea you remember having? Well, actually, before I had my great idea for The White Rose, which I wrote all of when I was about 13. I had other story ideas before that, and I did write other sort of books before that. They were probably more like novella length at best. The one that I keep remembering, it was because I had watched Dragonheart as a kid. I know, my parents were weird. They let us watch a lot of adult movies when we were very young. And I had watched Dragonheart and I was obsessed with dragons because what kid isn't obsessed with dragons? And so I wrote a book that was basically Dragonheart, with a dragon and a guy who's his friend and just the adventures that they had. So that one I remember a lot more clearly than any of the other books that I was writing around that time, so we'll go with that one. And if you want to read something that I have written right now, you can check out my self-published novella, Phoenix, available on Amazon for your Kindle or in paperback. Or if you want to read something for free, I do have some selections on my Wattpad or my AO3, links in the doobly-doo to all of those. In fact, links in the doobly-doo to all of my social media. Also, don't forget that I post new videos here Mondays and Fridays. And if you liked what you saw here but wish it was higher quality, and I'm losing my voice, jeez Louise, but you wish it was higher quality, then you can support me on Patreon, where all of the donations will go towards getting me a better camera / better equipment. And I will see all of you again next time with whatever it is I happen to be doing next time. Bye!
Hey everyone, it's shout out time. I'm shouting out to my 2 patrons, Kim and Sarah. And if you want to be cool like Kim and Sarah, become a patron over on Patreon.